The Galactic Council Chamber was a cathedral of stars, a ring-shaped citadel suspended in orbit above the gas giant of Ilyara Prime. Its crystalline walls shimmered with refracted starlight, and the assembled fleets of the great powers drifted beyond the glass like jewels across the void. The annual Summit of Arms was not merely tradition, it was a spectacle of intimidation, a reminder of who held dominance in the galaxy. One by one, the empires revealed their strength. The Zorath Dominion opened with a thunderous announcement, their Leviathan-class dreadnoughts unfurling like titanic beasts. Each ship bristled with plasma lances longer than skyscrapers, their hulls armored in living metal that healed when struck. Gasps of awe echoed through the chamber. Then came the Valorians, their fleet arrayed in perfect geometric formations, angular warships shimmering with energy shields said to be impenetrable. The Kelton swarm was next, unleashing their biomechanical, hive ships that pulsed as though alive, each capable of birthing thousands of drone fighters. Each empire tried to outshine the last. Each display was louder, grander, hungrier for fear. And then, at last, it was Earth's turn. The humans, newcomers to the council, rose from their seats. Ambassador Helena Carter, flanked by two aides in simple Navy uniforms, stepped forward. Her presence looked painfully modest compared to the resplendent robes and ornate armor of alien delegations. She cleared her throat. "We bring greetings from Earth and gratitude for our place among the stars," Carter said calmly. "As requested, we have come to reveal our strength." The chamber fell silent, every alien eye fixed on the humans. They waited. Nothing happened. No ships entered orbit. No fleets shimmered into formation. No thunderous announcement echoed across the void. The viewports showed only the alien armadas, still glittering proudly. For a long, painful pause, there was nothing. Then the laughter began. The Zorath warlord slapped his clawed hand against the table. "Is this a jest? The Terrans bring air as their offering?" The Valorian minister tilted her crystalline head, a sharp grin cutting across her features. "Perhaps their ships are so small we cannot see them." The Kelton emissary, a writhing mass of tendrils, let out a guttural chittering that reverberated like thunder. "Pitiful. You are not warriors. You are children." The laughter spread like wildfire. The chamber filled with cruel voices, echoing mockery from every corner. Some alien delegates banged their staffs against the floor in derision. Others pointed openly at the human table, jeering. But Helena Carter only smiled. Her hands folded neatly behind her back. She waited, calm, as a still sea, while the storm of laughter washed over her. When at last the noise dimmed, she spoke again. "Are you finished?" The chamber quieted in confusion. The ambassador's tone was too steady, too certain. She tilted her head as though listening to something far away. Then she gave a single nod. Outside the viewport, the stars themselves seemed to shiver. At first, no one understood. A patch of the cosmos just beyond the station flickered unnaturally. It was subtle like heat rising from stone. A ripple spread across the void, bending starlight in strange ways, and then, with a soundless shudder, reality split open. From the emptiness, a shape emerged, vast, black, and terrible. Gasps tore through the chamber. The ship was colossal, dwarfing even the Zorath Leviathans. Its angles were sharp as a blade, its hull a dark alloy that seemed to devour light. It bore no insignia, no glowing banners, no ornamentation, only silence and shadow. It had been there all along. The chamber's hollow displays screamed with sensor alerts. Alien ministers frantically checked their data streams. Nothing. Their scanners showed no trace of the vessel, no energy signatures, no warp trails. Their fleets, orbiting just kilometers away, had been blind to it. "Impossible," the Valorian minister whispered, her crystalline face paling. "It was here." "Here," the Kelton emissary recoiled, tendrils thrashing. "No. No living eye saw it enter. The Zorath warlord's laughter choked into silence. His claws dug into the table. This is witchcraft! The great ship loomed closer, drifting with predatory grace until its shadow swallowed the view of the alien armadas. And as it moved, weapons came alive. Gun batteries extended silently along its hull, rail cannons the size of towers, missile silos yawning open, plasma turrets glowing with restrained fury. Each weapon swiveled, locking with chilling precision onto the alien fleets arrayed around the station. The chamber went dead silent. Ambassador Carter folded her hands atop the table and finally broke the quiet. This is the UNS Aegis, humanity's first stealth dreadnought. She allowed the words to sink in. It has been in orbit above this station for 3 days. None of you saw it. None of your fleets detected it. It has mapped every weapon you carry, every weakness in your formations. Should we have chosen to, this demonstration would not be happening. You would all be ash. Her voice never rose, never wavered. It was calm. It was final. The alien delegates stared at her, their mockery drowned in the weight of realization. For all their vast fleets and ancient empires, not one of them had even suspected that Earth's greatest warship was already among them. The Zorath warlord, once so loud, now whispered hoarsely, How many more of these ships do you have?" Carter only smiled. Enough. The silence in the chamber deepened. No one dared speak further. The laughter had died. From that day forward, the galaxy no longer looked at humanity as children. They looked upon them as shadows in the void, silent, unseen, and far more dangerous than anyone had dared imagine. The Hall of Convergence glittered with starlight. Suspended high above the neutral world of Acreon, the grand chamber had been carved from crystal mined from comets, its vaulted walls transparent to the cosmos beyond. It was here that the Galactic Council gathered once a cycle to remind each other of power, the fleets, the fire, the terrible steel that bound civilizations in fear and order. One by one, the empires displayed their armadas. The Vaith coalition began, revealing warships shaped like crescents, their hulls wrapped in cascading light fields that shimmered like auroras. The chamber erupted in applause as their admiral boasted of shields that had never been pierced. The Norvac hegemony followed, unleashing a vision of dreadnoughts bristling with plasma accelerators, each cannon capable of vaporizing a moon. Their delegation laughed, declaring, "No foe survives the gaze of Norvac steel." Then came the Sithari collective, their fleets vast and alien, organic leviathans pulsing with bioluminescence. They glided in patterns like a living mural, their sheer numbers blotting out constellations. The council chamber thrummed with awe and fear. Each race pushed to outshine the other. Each sought to remind their rivals of the price of war. Finally, the humans were called. Ambassador Elias Grant rose from his modest seat. His uniform was simple, navy cloth, no gilded armor, no ceremonial weaponry. Behind him, the human delegation stood silent. Compared to the splendor of alien empires, they looked almost laughable, fragile beings in plain suits. "We are honored to join this gathering," Grant began, his voice calm, almost too calm. "You have asked that we show our strength. So, we will." The chamber hushed in anticipation. Alien eyes turned to the void beyond the crystal walls, waiting, and nothing happened. No fleets arrived, no ships decloaked, no mighty armadas thundered into orbit. The black canvas of space remained empty, broken only by the glittering alien fleets. For a heartbeat, silence reigned. Then came the laughter. It started with the Vaith admiral, a sharp, mocking tone. "Is that all? Do humans come to the stars? With bare hands?" The Norvac delegate slapped the table with a heavy fist, roaring. "Perhaps they lost their fleet on the way." The Sithari representative, its voice a strange chorus of tones, crooned, "Fragile species, you seek safety among predators." The chamber erupted. Delegates pointed and sneered. Some called for humanity's council seat to be revoked at once. Others demanded Earth become a protectorate under real powers. Through it all, Ambassador Grant stood unmoving, a faint smile tugging at the corner of his mouth. He let the storm of laughter roll and crash, unshaken. Only when the noise began to die did he speak again. Look closer. Confused glances passed, between alien leaders. Some leaned forward, scanning the black. Others scoffed. And then it began. A ripple spread across the stars. Not light, the absence of it. A distortion, subtle at first, as though the void itself bent under some unseen. Wait! The laughter faltered. Murmurs rippled through the chamber. A section of the cosmos darkened, stars blinking out one by one. Something vast moved between them, a silhouette only revealed by the light it devoured. For a long, breathless moment, the universe seemed to hold its breath. Then the shadow revealed itself. With a shudder that reverberated through every sensor, the vessel decloaked. It was a behemoth. The HSS Phantom. Its hull was jagged and dark, a dagger forged from midnight. Unlike the jeweled warships of other empires, it bore no banners, no glowing ornaments, only black steel that drank the stars. It was larger than the Norvac dreadnoughts, longer than the Sithari Leviathans, its surface lined with strange geometric, plating that scattered light in unnatural ways. The council chamber fell silent. Holoscreens lit up as every alien scrambled to scan the vessel. Their fleet's sensors howled warnings, but the data streams were empty. No warp signature, no power trail. It had simply been there, lurking unseen between them all. The Vaith Admiral's voice cracked. No, this cannot be. Our detection grids. The Norvac delegate's fists trembled. It was inside our formations? How long? Ambassador Grant's smile widened ever so slightly. Since yesterday. Gasps echoed. Some delegates recoiled in horror, others clenched their fists in disbelief. The Phantom shifted closer, moving with eerie silence until its colossal shape blotted out entire constellations through the viewport. Along its hull, weapon ports unfurled like the eyes of a predator awakening. Rail cannons gleamed, torpedo bays yawned open, plasma arrays whispered with restrained energy, every one of them locked onto alien fleets. The council chamber went still. The laughter had not just died, it had been buried. Grant's voice carried, through the silence, calm as iron. This is one ship, our first of its class, a vessel designed not to be seen, not to be heard, until it is too late. For 3 days, it has watched you, recorded every weakness, every firing pattern, every blind spot in your grand fleets. Tell me, counselors, how many more shadows do you think orbit your worlds right now? The delegates shifted uneasily. No, one spoke. The Sithari's bioluminescent form dimmed, as if in instinctive fear. The Vaith Admiral's luminous skin dulled to a pale gray. Even the Norvac warlord, proud and unyielding, clenched his jaw in silence. Grant clasped his hands behind his back. His tone remained polite, almost conversational. You mocked us for showing nothing, but tell me, what is more powerful, to reveal your strength to all, or to wield it where none can see until the knife is already at the throat? The Phantom loomed above, its shadow swallowing even the largest alien ships. For the first time in living memory, the Galactic Council said nothing. No boasts, no threats, no laughter, only silence. Ambassador Grant allowed that silence to stretch, heavy and suffocating. Then he inclined his head slightly, as if in farewell. The human delegation thanks you for your time. Outside, the Phantom shifted. Slowly, gracefully, its hull shimmered once more, dissolving into nothingness. Stars returned to view, twinkling as though mocking the fleets that had failed to see the predator in their midst. And then it was gone. But the silence remained. From that day forward, humanity was never again called weak. The galaxy had seen the shadow between the stars, and they would never stop wondering just how many more were waiting, unseen in the dark. The summit was meant to be a celebration of power. Above the burning white star of Oloris, the Galactic Armada showcase unfolded in orbit, a spectacle witnessed by thousands of dignitaries, generals, and warlords. Fleets drifted in choreographed formation, massive warships gleaming in the light, their hulls etched with alien sigils of dominance. The Zarkun warlords began the parade, unleashing their armada in a thunderous ballet of firepower. Their dreadnoughts were massive, plated in obsidian armor, bristling with cannons that glowed like molten veins. They fired a salvo into the void, plasma bolts the size of buildings detonating in brilliant, terrifying arcs. The chamber roared with approval. Next came the Solari Dominion, their ships radiant and elegant, wings of golden alloy unfurling like celestial birds. They shimmered with energy shields so bright that they blinded the eyes, their commander boasting, "Our ships are untouchable, our dominion eternal." The Krelnak swarm followed, a horde of living warships that twisted and writhed like predators in a feeding frenzy. Their sheer numbers eclipsed entire constellations, the void turning into a writhing sea of organic metal. Each empire tried to outshine the last. Pride bled into arrogance. And then the humans were called. The chamber turned its gaze to the small delegation from Earth. Ambassador Rebecca Shaw rose from her seat. She was a woman of unremarkable stature, dressed in a dark suit with no ornament, no ceremonial flourish. Her aides stood silently beside her. Compared to the spectacle of alien empires, they looked almost pathetic, fragile apes from a backwater world, daring to sit among titans. The laughter began even before she spoke. A Krelnak chittered mockingly, its tendrils tapping against the table. "Where are your fleets, little apes? Lost among the stars?" The Solari Prime Minister smirked, his voice dripping with condescension. "You cannot even defend your own planet. What place do you have among us?" The Zarkuan warlord let out a booming laugh, slamming his armored fist against the armrest. "Humans are ants among giants. Your kind is unworthy of the stars." Shaw only smiled. She said nothing, her eyes calm, her composure unshaken. She raised one hand slightly, as though signaling to no one in particular. And that's when the alarms began. Across the alien fleets, sensors shrieked warnings. The hollow screens lining the chamber flickered with urgent displays. Unidentified vessel detected. Energy signature unknown. Source inside formation. Confusion erupted. Alien admirals slammed their controls, issuing frantic orders to their fleets. But the data feeds remained scrambled, garbled, impossible to read. Then the stars behind the Krelnak swarm seemed to break. Something was there, something vast. At first it was only a ripple, space itself warping unnaturally, light, bending around an invisible shape. The fleet scattered in panic, but too late. The shape revealed itself with a shimmer that ran like fire across its hull. A ship emerged from the void. Not just a ship, a dagger, a shadow forged from darkness itself, the Erebus-class stealth vessel. Glided silently into view, sleek and sharp, its black alloy reflecting no light, no heat. Its surface was lined with jagged patterns of strange metal that seemed to twist perception. It was longer than the Zarkun dreadnoughts, darker than the Krelnak horde, and sharper than the radiant Solari frigates. But what terrified the Council was not its size. It was its position. The Erebus had been inside their fleets all along. It had slipped unseen between the Krelnak swarm and Solari Dominion, silent and patient, its weapons primed, its presence undetected until it chose to be seen. Every alien in the chamber froze. The ship's hull came alive. Batteries of rail cannons rotated into firing positions, torpedo bays yawned open, energy cannons glowed faintly along its sides, each weapon locked onto a flagship of the gathered armadas. One ship, one shadow. And yet every alien fleet suddenly realized they were prey. Silence. Ambassador Shaw stepped forward, her voice calm, cutting through the tension like a blade. This is the Erebus, our first stealth warship. It has been among your fleets for 2 days. It has mapped every ship, every weapon, every weakness you possess. Her eyes swept across the chamber. Had we chosen otherwise, you would already be destroyed. Your fleets, your stations, your worlds. Ash in the dark. The Krelnak emissary trembled, its tendrils thrashing against the floor. No. No. Impossible. Nothing escapes the swarm. The Solari minister's golden skin dulled, his voice shaking. Our sensors. There is no stealth ship of this scale. None! The Zarkuan warlord's laughter had died. His claws gripped the table, cracking the alloy beneath his hand. His voice was low, guttural. How many of these shadows do you hold? Ambassador Shaw only smiled. Enough. The chamber fell still. The great powers, who had mocked and boasted only moments before, now sat frozen in fear. Their fleets, once paraded as symbols of strength, were suddenly revealed as brittle, exposed, vulnerable. The laughter was gone. Ambassador Shaw let the silence stretch, savoring the weight of it. Then she leaned forward slightly, her voice quiet but carrying to every corner of the chamber. You call us ants. But what is an ant in the dark? Invisible, untouchable, patient. We do not need numbers. We do not need armadas. We need only shadows. Amawa. Erebus hovered silently outside, weapons glinting faintly in the void, and then, as suddenly as it had appeared, it vanished. Its black hull shimmered once more, folding into nothingness. Stars reappeared in its place. Space was empty again. The fleets scrambled, scanning desperately, but the ship was gone. Not destroyed, not withdrawn, simply unseen. The silence that followed was suffocating. For the first time in the history of the Armada showcase, no empire claimed victory. No race boasted of supremacy. None dared laugh again. The humans had shown no fleet, no parade, no firework display of power. They had shown only a shadow, and in that shadow, the galaxy realized a truth it would never forget. Humanity did not need to be stronger, larger, or older than the other empires. They only needed to be unseen until it was already too late. From that day forward, no one mocked Earth again, because in every council meeting, in every fleet deployment, in every shadow that passed between the stars, the question lingered in every alien mind. Is the Erebus watching us now?